Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from Kaiser Health News, which is part of the Kaiser Family Fund or something like that. Basically, globalist, a globalist shit pig organization. You know, one of those people who had too much money than sense, created these organizations that have like been twisted and perverted. That's what this basically is. This is their supposedly unbiased news group, like news part of their organization. But when a title like this, it's not unbiased. Okay, this is written by Elizabeth Rosenthal. It was published on October 1st. We follow laws on seatbelts and smoking. Why not masks? Because you're comparing apples to zebras, not even oranges. You're not even in the fruit family. Let's get into the article here. Let's see what Rosenthal here had to say. Elizabeth, who can't even spell her name like everyone else. She's Elizabeth. E-L-I-S-A, not Elizabeth. Elizabeth. Sorry. I was a reporter in Rome in 2005 when Italy banned smoking in restaurants. I was skeptical. For many Italians, having a cigarette after dinner coffee was simply part of the meal, like dessert. Also, Italians are famously lax about following rules. They dodge their taxes and park on sidewalks, as I wrote back then. Smokers declared basta. They would never comply. Now, here's the thing. She's comparing fucking Italians, okay, who will lie and cheat and shit like that with Americans who value, you know, cheat on their taxes and lie with Americans who value freedom. Again, apples to zebras. But to my shock and ease of breathing, since I have asthma, which was something she didn't need to throw in, very quickly everyone did. If the Italians could do it with cigarettes, how come so many people in the United States aren't following relatively simple mandates to prevent the spread of beer virus, which has killed more than 200,000 Americans? Well, considering that we were supposed to have, by the time we hit 100,000, like, you know, easily 2 million dead, 1 to 2 million dead, we're doing damn good. And that's with people not wearing their masks. That's with people not following these draconian fucking rules that you authoritarian shitbricks want and are pushing for. And most of them come from, oh, New York and fucking Detroit and Michigan, okay, where they fucking sent infected people in to nursing homes. A lot of those deaths come from those type of decisions made by Democrat governors. Most of the deaths come from Democrat blue fucking states. Maybe we should stop following the fucking Democrat fucking way of doing things. That makes more sense to me. If Italians could do it with cigarettes, well, cigarettes are not the same thing as masks besides that. I mean, this is ridiculous. She seriously makes bullshit comparisons. 34 states and Washington, D.C. have some sort of mask mandate, but many citizens and law enforcement agencies are blatantly ignoring them. Yes, and all the people that people like you claimed would die haven't. Is that why you're pushing for this? Because you think that the cat isn't out of the bag? On September 13, President Donald Trump held an indoor rally with thousands of mostly unmasked supporters in Henderson, Nevada, in violation of a state mandate that prohibits gatherings more than 50 people. Okay, that narrative was completely fucking debunked. Okay? The picture that they had when they were claiming people weren't wearing Trump masks had 3 people not wearing them. But they're going, see, people aren't wearing masks. And you start going through. It's like, where's fucking Waldo? You're like, oh, there he is, no mask. Oh, there he is again, no mask. There was like 3 fucking people in it. Last week, Trump held a oh, so wait a minute, hold on. Well, before we go any further. So you don't like the fact that there were more than 50 people there, but are you bitching about more than 50 people gathering for BLM and Antifa? You know, more than 50 people in those 2 groups gathering and causing fucking havoc and raising hell and shit like that and burning shit down and looting and fucking rioting and harassing Trump supporters, you know, standing outside their home to where the cops cucked the fuck out, like in Wisconsin, where the cops cucked the fuck out. Okay, didn't arrest the people trespassing and shit like that, okay, and the guy in his home having to use a gun to say, look, you fucking come on, you come after me, I will fucking shoot you, okay, they arrest him for doing that and allow the people that were threatening him, okay, while they were outside fucking partying, to get a free fucking pass? Okay? You know, there was more than 50 people there. I'm sure they were in violation of that locality, that state's, you know, Wisconsin's limitations. Cops thought it would be easier to haul in the fucking victim because they didn't want to deal with shit. So you don't like it that more than 50 people. Well, okay, then you call out BLM, you call out Antifa, you call out every one of those motherfuckers that are violating every different state's fucking mandates and communities, whether they're towns or cities that they're in. You're only calling out Trump here. You disgusting piece of shit. You're only calling out him and his supporters. You disgusting scumbags. Oh, you're unbiased, my hairy ass. Last week, Trump held a rally in an airport hangar outside Pittsburgh where thousands of mostly maskless people were crammed, cheering cheek to jowl, even though the governor had asked the campaign to follow the state's beer virus rules on mask use and social distancing. Well, first off, they weren't cheek to jowl, okay? They weren't packed in like fucking sardines, you lying sacks of shit. The pictures show differently. But see, you're just preaching to the fucking choir because you're fucking retarded. And you think that people aren't going to call your shit out. Well, I'm calling your shit out. And this was also in like the New York Times too. Yeah, see? That should tell you everything right there. When the New York Times will publish fucking shit like this, it should tell you how ridiculous it is. An infectious disease doctor in Florida told me she felt safest when she was in the hospital because she estimated fewer than a fifth of the people in her community were masking or social distancing in stores despite a mask mandate. Oh my God, bullshit. I call bullshit on that one because everyone knows that hospitals are cesspools for fucking disease. You are more likely to go in and come out sick because of the fact that they are a festering cesspool for disease, no matter how hard they try to keep them clean. Yeah, she really, yeah, she feels more safe in a hospital than she does in fucking Walmart. Okay. I call bullshit. I mean, seriously, that makes no sense. A fifth of the people in her community were masking. Okay, well, what community does she live in, and how many cases are there? Because I'm gonna hazard a guess and say that she has no reason to be concerned, and that it's all in her head. So tête. Oh God, I haven't spoken French in years. I could barely I can enunciate, speak it perfectly usually when I do speak it, but like the retention of it, not the greatest. Foreign languages aren't my thing, but. Basically, I just said in French, all in her head. So tête. Oh, that was really bad. I got to fucking practice my accent, huh? Got to do my real French accent, not like the fake French-speaking English one, eh? But anyway, yeah, it's all in her head. Some conservative groups have challenged governors' broad authority to order beer virus prevention measures. Last week, a judge appointed by Trump overturned Pennsylvania's limits on gatherings, but the legal standing is relatively clear. No, it isn't. Governors absolutely have the authority during a public health emergency to make laws, to force people to wear masks, to limit gatherings, said Jamie King, an expert on health law at the University of California Hastings College of the Law. So I'm perplexed as to say why people can't say, you can't force me, because as the judge ruled that you're trying to say, he didn't know what he was talking about, okay? It's unconstitutional with the limits that they put on in Pennsylvania. You leave out the fact that they were literally open-ended, perpetual fucking limits. With no end in sight, that violated the constitutional rights of the residents. You leave that shit out. Oh, well, the Constitution doesn't matter to you, clearly. I mean, this bitch is supposed to be a law professor, Jamie King here. Supposed to be an expert on health law. And doesn't even understand that the Constitution trumps that shit. You're not a fucking expert when you don't understand the Constitution is the highest land in the law, and that you can't violate the Constitution in putting in these, these like, I don't want to say rules, but you know what I mean with the health, the limits and shit like that. You cannot just declare shit and say fuck the Constitution. It doesn't work like that. So basically, they bring up the fact that the judge said that you can't do these things because they're unconstitutional. And then they're saying, well, we can force you to do it. The law is clear. No, the Constitution says you can't do it. Fuck you. Get bent. Really that simple. And I love how literally, right when they just said, Judge ruled unconstitutional. Well, he's a Trump judge. Let's just ignore that. No, he actually ruled according to the Constitution. Get bent. That's the breaks. Deal with it. These people are retarded. People who act as if these rules are optional might point to a double standard, asking why they should have to obey when others, such as protesters against racial injustice this summer, didn't. Well, they didn't. But at the protest I observed in Washington, complete opinion here, and New York City, everyone was wearing masks and mostly kept at least 3 feet apart, outdoors and moving. Whoa, wait a minute. I thought they were supposed to be keeping 6 feet of distance, number one. Number two, the thousands of fucking videos out there of this shit only show them wearing masks when they don't want to be caught on fucking camera, looting, rioting, fucking beating people and shit like that. So shut the fuck up. That's the only time most of those people have been wearing masks. Okay, there is thousands of hours of fucking footage of them and all across the country, okay, not wearing masks unless they are fucking up to shit. So don't even. Okay, and you go, well, they were 3 feet apart, but you want everyone to be 6 feet. Get bent. Yes, some people broke curfews, but there were very visible attempts at enforcement. Bullshit! If there was, there wouldn't have been, or been, will still be going on, over 100 days of fucking rioting in Portland. You wouldn't have the little fucking shitbricks trying to retake Chaz. Jesus Christ. I love how she's literally trying to run cover for these fucking violent, fucking disgusting shitbags. Well, basically trying to say that the Trump judge doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about and ruling this shit unconstitutional. This bitch is fucking twisted. Elizabeth needs to get her fucking head out of her ass. Mark Hall, a professor of healthcare law and public health at Wake Forest University, noted that there are what he calls hortatory laws, laws that are most about encouraging social norms rather than mandating behavior. But he said, those involve trivial trespasses. This does not seem like a law that has much more serious consequences. He said about the masking measure, it's not jaywalking or loitering or pooper scooping. Well, here's the thing. All laws, okay, are about mandating behavior. Not, okay, regardless if it's social norm or not, because pretty much, if we want to go there, those are all social norms that these laws are regulating, and it's about regulation. Period. End of story. This is a sleazy little bastard here. It's about mandating behavior, period. This guy is like a fucking idiot. It's not jaywalking, loitering, or pooper scooping. Which, jaywalking, loitering, or pooper scooping. Okay, jaywalking is about the idea of mandating behavior. Okay, period. Because you don't want people walking out in the middle of the fucking street and getting run over. Loitering, because you don't want people just loitering around. You don't want them just lying around being useless fucking wastes of fucking space, you know? All right? Like, maybe like how the homeless people will just fucking pop a squat on the fucking street corner. Loitering laws are about, in part, like stuff like that. But it's also about the fact of, you know, loitering around, making an area, like loitering has been used like on the note of idea of people that are there causing problems, stuff like that. Loitering has a lot of uses to be used, okay? When someone's loitering, they're usually up to no good. Again, about mandating behavior. Pooper scooping, definitely about mandating behavior. Because you don't want people leaving their dog's shit on the fucking ground. Maybe people just don't like masks, but we routinely obey, and police officers routinely enforce laws with which we don't entirely agree. So basically, police should shut the fuck up, you should shut the fuck up, and if you don't wear a mask, they should nail your balls to the wall. You gotta love these mentality of these fucking people. You might think you can drive safely much faster than the speed limit. So maybe you push the boundary a bit, driving 65 in a 55 mile an hour zone. But those who drive 70, 80 or more know they could, wait a minute. But those who drive 70, 80 or more know they could well get a big ticket, so they mostly curb their impulse. Bullshit. Bullshit. And this idea of pushing the boundary, okay, almost everyone drives 10 over now, okay? You will not get pulled over 99.9% of the time unless you're being a fucking retard for doing 10 over. All right, you can do 15 over too. All right, so you could be doing 70. Now, here's the thing, talking about a 55. It's very rare that there are 55 mile an hour zones anymore. Okay, 65 has kind of become like the minimum. All right? When it comes to, say, like federal highways or even state highways. You go down south, it's 70 or more. Okay? 70, like with like Florida and shit. When I lived in Louisiana, it's 75 miles an hour. Okay? I come from New England, New Hampshire, where it's 65. All right? Pretty much all around New England. I go down there, I'm already doing 10 over. All right? And I'm getting passed like I'm standing still. The speed limit was 75. I'm finding myself, I'm doing the speed limit, just forced to have it. So I started doing 10 over. I'm doing 85. People are passing me still like I'm standing still. Hell, so I started going even faster. I got to go with the flow of fucking traffic. I'm not going to get rear-ended. Now, here I am driving in an import, okay, that's got a body kit, rims, you know, all that type of stuff in Louisiana with New Hampshire tags. And driving that fast, and I still didn't get pulled over. So what the fuck are you talking about? If you want to bring personal experience into this, you're completely full of shit. Oh, well, the speed limit... No, people don't give a shit about speed limits. What are you talking about? And cops aren't really enforcing it. The only time they really enforce it is if you're acting like a fucking retard, if you're doing, say, 20 over. Then they might do something. 15, you're usually safe. Many people originally objected to seatbelt laws as an infringement of personal freedoms, but who doesn't buckle up these days? Well, I'll tell you right now, New Hampshire residents don't have to because we don't have a seatbelt law. I love how, oh, well, seatbelt laws, it's just accepted across the country. No, New Hampshire, if you're 18 or older, you don't have to fucking wear one. And plenty of people don't wear them. And you want to know what? They take their own safety into their fucking hands. You want this nanny state bullshit. And you're pushing a fucking false narrative, not even knowing that there's a state out there where they're not even fucking required. I mean, I wear my seatbelt because I go, well, odds are I'm going to be more likely to survive a crash, but ain't required. And I love how they bring up the seatbelt thing, but they won't dare bring up the helmet thing. Because most people who ride fucking motorcycles when states with no helmets will ride without a helmet. Oh, well, you know, people just put on helmets. People just put on seatbelts. No, that's not generally the rule. All right? Because it's mandated. Well, it ain't mandated in New Hampshire. Neither are helmets. You'll watch people, okay, from the states that border where it is mandated, like Massachusetts, the second they pull into New Hampshire, the helmet comes off. Doesn't that kind of defeat your argument? No, not smoking in restaurants and stores is now inviolable or inviolable. Or viable. Basically, the bitch is just saying, you know, it's just there. It's unavoidable. Yeah. And here's the thing. New Hampshire, again, took their sweet fucking time to ban smoking. Banned it in restaurants. Still had it in bars, but a few people bitched. And it was like, well, there are some bars that have no smoking. Oh, excuse me. By choice. You want to go to them? That's your prerogative. Don't dictate to another fucking bar that wants to cater to smokers. You don't want to go there? Fuck you. You know, you don't want to go there because they're smoking? Then fuck you. Don't go. But that's what they keep leaving out here. Okay? A business should have the authority and the right to decide whether or not they want smoking in it. People don't like it, fuck off. If I want to have a restaurant where people can come in and smoke, even though I'm a reformed smoker, I haven't had one in a cigarette in like 7 or 8 years. Might even be longer than that. Okay? If I want to do that, that's my fucking prerogative. I should have the right to do that. I should have the right to cater to fucking smokers. And if someone wants to come in that's a non-smoker, that's their choice. But if they want to try to dictate to me, my business, and my patrons, they should go fuck themselves. And you're trying to play this like, well, they're mandated. Well, they shouldn't be. It should be a fucking personal choice. If I want to have a business, okay, and cater to one particular segment of the population, I should have the right to do that. My family had a dog in New York City when the canine waste law took effect in 1978, and it was gratifying to watch women in Ming suddenly start doing their pooper scooping duty. Yeah, and how did your parents do their pooper scooping duty? Because no one back before that point was doing their pooper scooper duty. And you had dog shit all over the city streets, kind of like how you have today in like San Francisco and even New York City to a large extent, just piles of human shit on the ground. So why not apply those same pooper scooper laws to the people shitting on the ground and make them scoop up their own shit? You're talking about dogs scooping up dogs shitting and scooping it up, but I don't hear you calling out the people that are popping a squat on the street and shitting in it. You gotta love the hypocrisy of this fucking idiot. Oh, well, there's a pooper scooper law. What about the human shit? You gonna say something about that? Of course not. A big part of the reason adherence has been so variable is that governors generally declare the mandates and local and city officials are left to decide how to enforce them. And these simple, sensible laws to protect public health have been politicized and wrapped up in controversy as no such laws before. Bullshit! Bullshit, 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 bullshit. Bullshit! Excuse me. You're telling me the Patriot Act wasn't wrapped up in controversy and wasn't politicized to a level worse than this? Go fuck yourself. You seriously are high on your own fucking farts. Holy shit. What a fucking idiot. And this idea of local and city officials are left to decide to enforce them. Well, first off, okay, governors aren't declaring laws. Okay, they are declaring states of emergency. What they are doing is not actually a law. You're trying to portray it like it is a law. The legislature ultimately decides laws. They have put laws in place that limit, in a lot of cases, in a lot of different states, what governors can do. Don't try to make it sound like these governors have ultimate fucking power. They don't. But I'm sure you will try to defend Whitmer with her unconstitutional shit that was just ruled unconstitutional, and she's trying to say, I don't care. I'm still going to do it because I got 21 days. That's not how it works. The court ruled that what she was doing was unconstitutional. It goes into effect immediately, and people like you are still trying to play a game like that, saying, well, the governors decide. No, governors don't have power like that. They have powers defined within the laws of the state, within the Constitution of the state. And it's been politicized because you fucking idiots have politicized this shit because you're going, oh, Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad, everything his fault. We got to lock down the country and fuck the economy so the Orange Man's not reelected. You've politicized shit like that, okay? And you're trying to say the other side's politicized it because they're going, well, fuck you. You've made it political because they're calling you out for it. They're making it political. Get bent. Seriously. Go fuck yourself. You people are pathetic. So now we have some law enforcement officials announcing they won't enforce masking laws or limits on gatherings imposed by their own governors in states like Ohio and Wisconsin. Well, that's because they're usually sheriffs and even some local police departments. The chiefs of police have done this, but in a lot of cases, it's the sheriff saying they're not going to enforce it. And why? Because these things are unconstitutional. So because they're following their oath that they took to defend and uphold the Constitution of the state they're in and of the United States, you want to act like they're the bad people because they're trying to protect people's rights, because they will not allow people's inalienable freedoms to be violated. Seriously, again, get bent, go fuck yourself. You people are disgusting. A sheriff or police chief giving advance notice that it's okay to break the law, said Hall. Or that it's okay to break the law, said Hall. There's a new level of lawlessness to that. Imagine the authorities announcing it was fine to ignore stop signs. That's not what's going on. You have unconstitutional law mandates being declared by governors. Unconstitutional. So the sheriff says, or the police chief says, we're not going to enforce the unconstitutional aspects of these things. Deal with it. You keep leaving that out as their justification for not doing it. You're trying to say lawlessness when they are upholding the highest fucking law of the land. And you're trying to compare it to ignoring stop signs. Stop signs are about driving, which is a privilege. It's not a right, okay? You have the right to freely assemble, the right to travel freely without molestation of your person. Guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States, because it's an inalienable right, or they are inalienable rights, that the government cannot infringe on. The Italians miraculously turned around on restaurant smoking offers lessons. There was a consistent messaging. The law was there to protect non-smokers' health, and there were fines, 275 euros, around $320 today for people smoking, and 220 euros for the restaurant managers or owners. The Italian police, who themselves could frequently be seen smoking while walking their beats, enforce the rules. Now, I love this one. Basically, what they're saying is you should get your balls nailed to the wall. You should get fined for not complying with unconstitutional fucking mandates. Because they're now saying, hey, you know, these sheriffs say they're not going to enforce the rules. Because this was supposed to be about masks, but they're talking about the lockdown, they're talking about everything. Okay? And they're saying that because you're not complying, you should be fined with unconstitutional orders. Elizabeth, do you smoke crack? How about meth? Because it seems like you've been on a 3-day bender before you wrote this. Seriously. Governor Andrew Cuomo, now this is the best part. Governor Andrew Cuomo was one of the few American governors who approached the beer virus edict almost militaristically. So in New York, and got a tragic outbreak under control. In Maryland, a state with a Republican governor, a man who had 2 parties of 50 people at his home was sentenced to a year in jail. So here's the thing. All right. A Republican governor, all right, a state with a Republican governor had a man, all right. They're basically trying to be like, you know, the governor did this. It's dishonest, okay? But here's the thing. So they're praising Cuomo being a militaristic piece of shit. A hypocritical piece of shit, because do you see them calling out the fact that he's saying people need to wear their masks and he keeps getting caught not wearing one? Are they calling him out on that? No. Are they calling out the fact that that the unemployment is like 40% or some shit like ridiculous like that in New York City, especially with de Blasio and his following Cuomo and taking it a step further, going, hold my beer, bitch? No. Are they are they looking at the fact that Cuomo's supposedly good job led to shit tons of fucking deaths, okay, per capita? If you go by a set number of people, like per 1,000, New York is way the fuck up there. And they're trying to say that Cuomo did a good fucking job and his militaristic approach was successful? No, he failed fucking miserably. I mean, this is ridiculous. And then guy got thrown in jail for a year for having 2 parties with 50 or more people. Did it cause a mass outbreak? No. Should the guy appeal that? Yes. Because that's unconstitutional. You have a right to gather freely. That you cannot limit someone's constitutional right, period, end of story. So he'll win that on appeal. He has to. But more governors have enforced these mandates timidly, almost apologetically. In many states, the message was muddled. In Pennsylvania, where disobedience could on paper lead to a $300 fine or up to 30 days in prison, state officials announced it wouldn't be enforced against individuals. Bullshit, they did. They got fucking bitch slapped over in Pennsylvania because their mandates were unconstitutional. But hey, fuck you. Officials announced businesses could face citations if they didn't enforce the law, but the state was otherwise relying on citizens' good sense of cooperative spirit. Well, that's because they were already treading on thin ice because they pissed off a lot of fucking people there. And they really didn't want to push the issue because they already knew that they were probably going to get fucked, which they did. And you try to play it down because, it was the Trump judge. Let's just ignore the fact that he ruled based on the Constitution. Piece of shit. This Elizabeth is a fucking scumbag. She really is. She's a fucking scumbag. The repercussions from the Trump rally that defiantly ignored Nevada's mandate, an angry tweet from the state's Democratic governor criticizing reckless and selfless actions. Yeah, because it was unfucking constitutional. They were at a political fucking rally, okay? You're talking about politics in the First Amendment. If he had tried to force the fucking issue, it could go all the way to the Supreme Court and he would have lost. He would have lost. Because you cannot deny someone their First Amendment right, which is what you people want to do, especially with the fact of Trump and Trump rallies and everything else. Donald Ahern, the businessman who allowed the event to take place in his company's warehouse, was fined $3,000. Yeah. Again, he could fight that and say, fuck you, First Amendment, and probably win. What's your point? They gathered there under their First Amendment right. You cannot limit the Constitution, highest law of the land. What don't you get about that? Oh, wait, you're a fucking lefty fucking spurg and are retarded and are too stupid to grasp such a simple concept. Enforcement is difficult when permission comes from the top, said King. How can we expect Americans to mask up when they're watching a Trump rally and even he's breaking the law? Oh, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. How about when we see pictures of fucking Cuomo and video of fucking Cuomo not wearing his fucking mask? Well, he's dictating to people in New York that they need to wear theirs. And if they don't, they're going to get fucking fined. Well, he's walking the goddamn fucking streets maskless. You ain't calling that shit out. Okay? You ain't calling out all the fucking people that are pushing the mask shit like the ones that were freaking out about masks at the fucking White House in the press corps. Okay, who were taking them off the second they thought the cameras were fucking turned off. Okay, you didn't call them out for that. No, you're trying to call out Trump and his supporters because you're disgusting pieces of shit. All of you over at the Kaiser Health Network or News, whatever the fuck you are. Health News. You're all scumbags. I mean, this is ridiculous shit. This is why I covered this, because this is the type of shit that they're trying to push. They're literally comparing apples to zebras, okay? Fuck the Constitution. These governors have ultimate say. I mean, seriously, this is the retarded shit they're pushing. They don't understand the Constitution or law, and their supposed legal experts don't. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm leaving things here.
If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.